Oops. My bad. Are you live?
So let's see if we can see if we are live.
Okay. I'll find this.
Because you already took it, right? I guess
Okay.
we are. Finally.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, guys.
That was a journey.
Whew.
And let me try to find this on here so I can answer your comments.
I got something for that.
I got it
I'm
in my
just playing
hand.
with some
I got it in
settings
my
here,
hand.
guys. So that yeah, let me look at something here. And
Let's reach them out to some people. Some peeps. All right.
okay, we're here. And we're live. Whew. Sorry, guys. We're slowly getting this all under wraps or construction here, trying to figure this out, not knowing what the heck is going on here.
Yeah.
But you know what? I realized that when we had um, the, what do you call it? The Surfshark. So we use a VPN. We live here in Puerto Vallarta. And first, let me just introduce ourselves.
Yes, let's do that first.
Okay.
Let me put my specs on first.
So my name is Jimmy.
Hola, I'm Rosemary.
And we live here in Mexico.
Yes.
We're in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and we are Food, Fun, and Faith, and we just welcome you to our channel.
Welcome.
So we just thank you for joining us, and we just introduce yourself, please, if you're watching right now and you can see us, hear us.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments that A, you can see us,
Yes.
B, you can hear us,
And
and C, where you're from.
I was gonna say smell us, but never mind.
But where you're from, and you know, like,
Yeah.
we just want to get to know you guys
Yeah.
and talk to you. And I think this is our second live, maybe.
Oh
on
yeah,
this
we
channel.
did one before, but that was via TikTok. Remember I did the live
Oh,
on
yeah,
TikTok, so yeah.
So we didn't. This is our very, very first live
on YouTube.
and we've been
Excited.
here in Puerto Vallarta since January of 2023.
Yes.
So just recently, we had to go back to the United States in order to complete our process or start our process for moving here to Mexico.
Yes.
And to be able to get our temporary citizenship. So that's kind of like where we're at now. We were gone for 6 months since last year, and we came back, and we had a week in Las Vegas, and so we're just kind of wanting to discuss some of the things that we experienced.
Yeah. So I wrote it on a little piece of paper over there.
So Rose has
but
to
it's
go
way
get her
over
piece of
there.
paper.
I'll be right back.
She'll be right back.
Sorry. Hey, this is live. That's what happens when you're live.
If you had a chance, please subscribe, like our channel. Yes.
You might want to first say and see if you like what we're about to say. No. I'm just joking. Okay, so I did have a few things I wanted to talk about. So, like you said,
well, first of all, talk about what you think. What do you think about your Las Vegas?
Oh, I love going back to see family because we went back to see our children, adult kids, and our grandkids, and had a lot of fun. And Jimmy's mom lives out there as well. So it was lots of fun and being able to connect back with family. Even though we only been gone for about 6 or 7 months almost, it was cool. And you could tell when everyone missed us, and we just had a good time, enjoy eating out and stuff. Yeah. So that was cool.
There is definitely a lot of growth, even in those short periods. Months that we've been gone.
Yeah, the baby grew a lot.
The baby grew a lot, but
smart.
In fact, our grandson turns 2 in a couple of days here. So he turns 2 on the 26th. So
Adonis.
He's out in California.
Hi, Adonis. If you're watching this one day, hi.
But he's out at Legoland right now, enjoying Legoland with his mom and some friends. And so he's having a good time in California.
Oh, yeah.
And we are back to sweaty Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah,
because it is hot
here. Right? Yeah, it is very humid here, which is weird, probably TMI. But when I sit down, it's so humid. It's like my whole dress is drenched in water, and AKA sweat. And so I get up and go, "What just happened? Is that wet out here?" That's why A lot of the expats that are out here, a lot of people that live out here or come visit, they go back to wherever they live, like Canada or the States. They say they have a second home, they go back and stay, for the time of what is this, like just mostly summertime.
Yes.
So they actually go back during the summertime. At first, I was like, why are they leaving to go back? What's wrong? I mean, you live here, you have a good home here. Why are you leaving to go back to be out of the summer? It's great out here, right? Well, I see why. Because it's really hot and humid, and you just drip all day long, especially if you're outside, even in the house. If you have your AC running all day, you are drenched.
And
So,
the funny thing is, when we were in Las Vegas, because Las
yeah.
Vegas is hot.
Oh,
So, and one thing I tell people here is that we talk about, oh, they're like, oh, I don't know if you can handle the summer here because the heat is really bad. I go, well, last summer in Las Vegas, we had about 120, 121. I think even hit 123 in the van when we had it.
right.
So going back to Las Vegas, it was hot again. And the crazy thing is, I did not have to change clothes once.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still scorching. So whenever we got in the car,
Yeah.
our rental,
Yeah.
the seats were burning,
Steering wheel blazing.
steering wheel
The
blazing.
buckles of the seat.
Yeah, you got to watch that stuff. But it was just awesome to not walk around with a do-rag on and sweating.
Yeah.
Because if anybody has seen me here in town, when I'm outside, I have a bandana on all the time.
All the time.
It is so hot,
Yeah.
and you just start perspiring like super fast, quickly. That you definitely want to, you try to absorb as much as you can. So
Yeah.
that was one of the things that I liked about being back in Vegas, is that
You didn't sweat all day.
we didn't sweat all day. I mean, it was just blazing hot, but still, or it was hot. It wasn't as hot as here.
Yeah, surprisingly, it wasn't too hot in Vegas this time. But yeah, it's just the time frame because it gets hot. It's gonna be hot, so or at least 102 plus, sometimes 110. So that's just the difference. But we went back to Vegas
Yeah.
because we had to go back to get our temporary residency going. So that's why we went back. A lot of people, most people that we have watched or followed, they started the process when they were in the United States, and then they came here and finished the process.
Right.
We didn't do it that way. What we did was sold everything, like most of you guys know. We sold our home, sold our vehicle, everything that we owned, came here with one suitcase and one backpack. That was
Each.
it. Each. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, each. Yeah.
So
We both did.
between the two of us, we had two suitcases, two backpacks,
Yeah.
and we had a computer bag.
Right, and the computer bag. That's right. Yeah, because we had to have to do work from home. So that's what we did. And when we left, so we didn't complete or get that process started, so we had to go back. So when we went back, how do we set up the process first before we left?
Well, first of all, we worked with an attorney here in Puerto Vallarta, and people will say, "Oh, you should save your money and try to do it yourself." And I can say this: I would rather. I think the best bet is to get professional help. Find somebody that you can hire, that you can trust, and get
Right.
the attorney, because the process is not as easy, and even the wording on the application isn't matched.
Right.
Remember, we're dealing with two different cultures.
Yeah.
So the way that they'll explain something is different than the way we receive it, especially if Spanish is
Right.
not part of your native tongue, or
Right.
it's not in your wheelhouse, or you're just kind of, less than fluent.
Yeah.
So the application itself is going to be in Spanish,
Right.
and the way they even deal with surnames and names is different than what we do.
Right.
The way they deal with the dates, as far as your birth date and stuff. We in the United States, we put the month first, the day of the month, and then the year. Here in Mexico, it's the day first, the month, and the year.
Right.
So when you're filling out an application, if you're not paying attention,
Yes.
then you're just kind of, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
You'll get this and mess up, and then you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
I think it's important to use an attorney.
And it has to be very accurate on your application. So any little mistake, you have to start all over.
Right.
So there's no, oh yeah, it could be a little mistake. Like we have neighbors who actually went to get their residency, and his name was one name like Mike or whatever, like Rob or Robert, right? You could put Bob, or you can put Mike or Michael. It would have to be your actual name on your birth certificate. Whatever paperwork that you're handing in, when it comes down to like qualifying, if you qualify, you qualify for you're what is it? If you're
Well, for him, it was, I think
for
they're permanent residents.
yeah,
So,
no, it was temporary. First, he was talking
but
about.
so his birth certificate full name was different
It-
than the passport from the United States.
right, and
So,
yeah,
like, I'm a junior, and a lot of times I don't use the junior
no,
suffix on my name
right,
because it just messes up other paperwork whenever it's an employment or whatever.
yeah,
Well, those are the issues that come up because you'll have
yeah,
one full name and then you'll have a partial name,
yeah,
especially if you use even nicknames, then you're really looking at something. So you just
yeah.
have to make sure your name matches all the way through,
Right,
from
right.
the application to your passport exactly.
Birth certificate,
Birth certificate,
everything.
make it match.
Marriage certificate, certification.
So those things, again, working with an attorney is probably best for you. But I say this: when we were our Mexican consulate, the Mexico consulate in the Las Vegas area was um, because all consulates are not the same.
Right. Oops,
We were fortunate with the consulate that we went through
sorry about that.
because of the fact that it could have been more of a problem than it would have been because they're really backed up. All the consulates seem to be extremely
Oh
backed up.
yeah, they are both sides. And if where we went back home to Las Vegas as well, and I think they also said Houston is a better chance for you to have an easier time getting your paperwork going through because
Right.
some of the states are no, they take forever. They're super backed up, or they just want to ask you so many questions, and they're just like they reject you. So just know that at least we found out Las Vegas is the easier one to go through. Houston is the easier one. Well, it's another place that people say
I'm
go
not
to.
sure, but again, and then the fee. Well, our fee was, I think it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Don't
Uh, you never
the
know. Every place is different.
the way you get approved is different. So your
Right.
based on whatever consulate you go to
Yeah.
might have an easier point of entry than another city or state
To qualify.
to
Yeah.
qualify. So
Right.
those are the things you definitely have to look into.
Yeah.
But for us, for Las Vegas, it was easy for us to locate it because again, we were from Vegas, so
Yeah.
we know exactly where to go
Yeah.
to find it. It was extremely packed, so you can always expect that. Expect it to be similar to maybe like a DMV, depending on where you
Yeah.
live. Because
Yeah.
again, we have a lot of migrants in Las Vegas, so therefore we had a lot of that activity there, and we were literally the only gringos in that Mexico consulate.
Oh yeah.
So
In the United States.
in Las Vegas,
Which is
so the
interesting.
ones
Yeah.
that were there were probably
Yeah.
there for their legal
Yeah.
status for the United States, and we were there going the opposite direction.
Opposite. Right. Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
So that's how that worked out
That's
for
right.
us.
Yeah.
But being back in Vegas, one thing I'd ask: did you feel like you missed out? Like did you miss home after
No.
returning?
I'm sorry, that's probably horrible to say, but of course, I miss my family. I was excited to see them, etc. That was great, but not really missing being back in the States and all that. Not really, because it's different here. Like I was actually, oddly enough, we only been here for 7 months. I was actually missing being here
Yeah.
because it's gonna be being by the beach and being able just to go out for relax or talk to. We made some even friends out here, so I guess that fast I was getting more accustomed to being in Puerto Vallarta, which is pretty cool, I think. So
Yeah.
I love it here. It's amazing here. So
So one of the I can say like the differences that I noticed being back this time, being here in Las Vegas, and this is I want to say this for those who are on the fence of you're still in the United States, you're kind of questioning, you've been questioning leaving the United States, you've been questioning yourself like trying to make this move, but you're like stagnant,
yeah,
and I think really what that might come down to, depending on how you're dealing with things, a lot of stuff has to deal with security. If you're able to make the move, where do you feel like your security is? Because for us leaving the United States, we were feeling more insecure with all the political stuff that was going on. It was just a mess.
yeah.
So I don't know if. Fazzy from England, welcome,
Welcome
and
from
we
I
want
was
to,
just typing to
yeah, and simply being me, we welcome you guys. But
Welcome.
here there in the United States, there's been so much political turmoil and oppression
Yeah.
for all this other stuff. So it made it easy for us to want to leave.
Right.
Now, in saying that, going back to Vegas to spend, after being away from our home country for so long, I honestly didn't feel like I missed anything. Now, there are things that we miss, no doubt, because
Wow.
in Puerto Vallarta,
Oh,
unlike Mexico City or something like that, in
yeah.
Puerto Vallarta, we don't have Target. We don't
Oh yeah, I do
have
miss my
Ross.
I do miss my Tarjay.
And we were there, no
And
doubt.
you know I was there, right?
Yeah, we were there because there's some things you want to hit into, and you're like, man, those are some
I shouldn't.
conveniences.
I probably shouldn't, but I do. And like for me, like hair products in Mexico, you're not gonna find, melanated hair products, not really. So I had to pick up some of those things. Oh, wait, we didn't finish to let them know how it went at the immigration.
Well, no, I mean, we did. It went smooth. It went fast and smooth. I
We
mean,
didn't
this is
we didn't
really the
tell you
video
guys,
isn't about
but we didn't tell you that.
but it's not really about this
I
video
know.
is really not
Well,
about.
yeah, well, kind of sort of. That's what happened in Las Vegas. So, because some people want to know, like, when people ask me, what happens when you went back to Las Vegas to get your temporary residency? So we need to let them know, like, how did the process go? We went in, it was busy with other people, the immigrants there, right? So we went in for the process and sat and talked before the immigration officer.
Right.
How did you feel? What happened?
Well, I'm saying
Because a
again,
lot of times people have said they had
it
problems.
depends on again. You can't take your experience and apply
What,
it to you because
right,
our consulate worked differently in Las Vegas.
right.
Um,
How did you
with
feel?
it was the guy that we talked with at our counter was really nice. He was extremely nice. He was extremely helpful.
Accommodating.
It was kind of like there was a point of getting stuck. But the great thing about the window worker that we had,
Yeah.
he actually, because I left a lot of things blank, and
Yes.
I really won't stress this enough. Do not fill out anything on that application
If you don't,
unless if you don't understand what you're going to fill it out with.
right.
You know,
Don't guess. Just make sure you have a second thought. Like, wait, is that what you're asking for? Wait, because you know what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you the opportunity. They'll say, fill this out. Say, okay, what do you mean by
yeah.
that? And that's what we end up doing. And he gave the opportunity to fill it out to make sure it was filled out correctly. Because again, you can be rejected. They can make you turn around from what other people have told us their experience was, and it make it harder. So yes, wait and find out what it is exactly that's supposed to be on the paper.
And you should definitely get. We brought like 2 or 3
Copies of your application.
of the application. You have to bring
Yes.
copies of the passport pictures, but we brought
Right.
of the application so that in case there is any mess up, we can immediately start to write again
No, that's
on the
right.
new application.
Yes.
On top of the fact that from our attorney, we had an application, and I would say there's an addition of an application for temporary residency or whatever for visa application that was different from the one that was provided in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it turned out that the one from the Las Vegas consulate was a lot. It was short, like one question,
Yeah.
but it made answering the questions a little bit easier. The
Right.
way the wording was.
Right.
So that's why you really need to kind of don't fill out everything, but make sure that you're not they're not going to let you leave it blank anyway.
Right.
Just make sure that you have and just let them know, lo siento, I'm sorry, or be
Yeah.
patient with me.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure I fill this out
Correctly.
right
That's right.
the one time.
Yeah.
So don't make it hard.
And did he ask you any questions? I know I hear a lot of other YouTubers say that they grill you with questions and make sure that you have the
You know
money,
what?
blah, blah, blah. What did they
Okay,
ask
so
you anything?
again, depending on your application, because I don't know what type of if you're going to be going in off of
A job visa,
job reason, if you're getting it off of
expenses.
pension
I'm sorry, not
or
expenses.
your pension and you're retired,
Right.
or if you're working, or you still have some kind of income. But nonetheless, make sure your questions when they ask you the questions stick to this the
The skip, man.
smallest detail
Right.
that you can.
You're like, yes, sometimes. No, no.
But
But you don't have to
he only asked
elaborate.
us one question, and that question was it doesn't matter because ours is different.
Okay.
So our one question was specific to why for the particular
Oh, right.
one that we're getting. Okay. And based off of that response, I gave him a very small, short, detailed response
Not
so
even,
that we can just move on.
not even a sentence.
just get past it. Don't
Yeah,
let them trick you
yeah.
into saying extra stuff that might have them,
Well, more you
come up with.
because the more you say, the more they're gonna ask details. You know, say if you just keep it short and sweet, be like, you know what I mean. You don't have to. You have to be just keep it short and sweet. Yeah.
Keep it
But
short
so
and
that's
sweet.
what happened. And after that, because you have to take some passport, some pictures, little passport size pictures, and get some duplicates. Take that with you. 'Cause they'll
They create your Mexican passport
right,
in our U.S. Blue Book passport.
right, right. It's
So, and
yeah.
now in our passport, we have our U.S. passport and we have our Mexican passport.
Passport on another page, and he keeps the form though with a stake with one of the little pictures. Remember, he kept that with
Because he put it in
in
the
the
book.
file. Yeah, so that's good. So once we did that, we sat down for a few minutes. It took like all of like an hour and a half ish, right? Because he let us in early, and then we sat down, waited what 20 minutes or so. It was pretty quick. Went back up to the booth, and we just paid the guy $51 each, $51 each, and then we just finished it up with him like 15 minutes. So it went really smooth.
Well, yeah,
It wasn't a problem.
ours was done in one day. So
Oh
we
yeah,
walked
same
out our
day.
books. Now,
Yeah,
unfortunately, we've heard, and we can't, that's not our experience.
right.
Uh, Others have had to come back the next day. Some people I've heard
Yeah,
have had to wait a week.
yeah,
So I would say this for your travel arrangements, but it's different because, see, again, we did it reverse. We were here in Mexico first, having to try to go back to the States to get the process started and then come back into
right.
the country.
Yeah,
But what you want to do is before you leave, get all
yeah,
your ducks in a row.
yeah.
If you haven't even started with your passport, you should be jumping on it like right now.
Yeah, it's taken a long time now to even let
Passports are 33 months. I mean, it's
you.
like
Yes,
it's 3 months plus to get it, but to even get an appointment in Las Vegas, they're shut down. So our
yeah.
son had to go to
Yeah.
Nevada.
Prim. Ooh,
He went to Gene to go
yeah,
get his
yeah.
passport appointment.
You might have to go a little bit outside of your city. All depends on where you live. Generally, you go to a post office and get it. There's some people that give services out there for that as well. But you just go to a post office. But my advice to you would be to get it at, like today, like as soon as possible. File for it, whatever you can do, because it may even be longer later on down the line. So
Yeah.
what you gotta do, at least you'll have it because they last what 10 years. How long does passport last?
Well, your passport is a 10-year passport.
Yeah. So get
But
out the way.
when you finally finish the process of to do for your Mexican temporary, as soon as you have 6 months to get back to Mexico or to get into Mexico, or that will expire.
Yes.
But then once you get through the airport in Mexico, you have like 30 days to have that process finished at the immigration office
Right.
here in Mexico. So
Right.
we are on that 30-day clock right now.
Right.
But we have an attorney that's working out the process so that
Yeah.
when our appointment time comes back up, then all we have to do is go in with one of their representatives and fill out everything, finish the process here and get our
Yeah.
card.
And our fingerprints, and we're all good
Yeah,
to
do our
go.
fingerprints to get our card.
Speaking of coming back on the airport, in the airport, 'cause a lot of times people talk about their experiences coming back and the customs, or it's called customs, yeah, customs and duties or whatever like that. Our experience in that, I hear a lot of people saying that uh, they'll sometimes make you stop and check your bags and open up your bags, and just make you pay duties or whatever like that for the things you have in your inside your suitcase. Our friends even said the same thing. They like to look. Oh, what is this? So you got to pay for the taxes on this. And so first, what did we first? What is that?
We're struggling. Can you hear us now? Maybe I can set this up a little bit higher. Can you hear us now? If you can hear it.
Let me see. I don't even know how to turn it up. All right, let's see. See if I can hear it. Here.
So
Hello. Whatever like that for the things you have.
I can hear it here. So hopefully, Kazi, I don't know. Maybe you have to come in or go out and come back in.
Let's see. So,
Or do you mean that the sound is like sporadic?
Is it sound muffled?
Is it muffled or is it breaking in and out?
I can't even see how
Let
to
us
do
know
that.
in the comment if you're having problems with the sound that way.
Yeah.
But,
Thank you for telling us, though.
yeah, but thank you. Anything that comes up technically, please give us some heads up in the comments so we know and we can try to make our adjustments here.
I'm trying to hear. I got my phone. I'm trying to hear.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let me know though, Kathy. So like, oh, so my question was, so what did we bring back in our
Well, wait a
suitcases,
minute.
right?
So you were talking about coming back in. So
Yeah,
this is
coming
the
back
thing
in
about
with
coming back in.
customs and duties, right? So when we came in, I remember our lawyer told us that we need to go through there's two different sections. There's right next to Mexican or citizens, Mexican, and this section over here is
Visitor,
visitors, right? And the visitors
tourist.
tourists, and the line is big over there. Mexican line is a little shorter. We went to the Mexican side because he said go there because you're not a tourist anymore, and if they stamp your book incorrectly, you have to start all over again. So we were nervous about that. We got in line with the Mexican line, and the guard there kept saying, no, 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 out of this line, out of this line, go over there, go over there. I'm like, we're not tourists, we're not tourists. She kept saying, no, you belong over there. And we're like, oh
And
my
see,
God,
there was like a few of us that were
confused.
from residents that live here
Yeah,
that are not natives
right.
to Mexico, and she was kicking us all out of the line. Several times she kicked us all out
Yes, and that was the
because it
nervous
was such
part.
a big the line for the tourists, especially here in Puerto
Yeah,
Vallarta. It's gonna be our
right.
airport was loaded. It took us
Yeah,
about an hour and a half to get through the airport. After we landed and we were inside with
yeah,
our luggage,
yes.
it took an hour and a half to get maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to get out of the airport.
It was long, yeah.
The lines were long.
Oh,
It took forever for everybody to get checked.
yes,
But she kept fighting with all of us to get out of the short line for the Mexicans and get into the tourist line. And we were all like, no,
right.
you're not going to jack up our
Right. So
passports.
that was the scary part. And I was nervous because he definitely said do not get the visit. So we ended up having to go to the visitors line anyway. We finally got up to the guy who checked us, checked our because we pulled our but we had a big old suitcase because we had tons of stuff on the table. We had in it, but we had tons of stuff in the suitcase as well. And so we finally got in front of him. He just looked at our passport and he was just like, okay, go. He said, come
Well,
on.
first of
Oh,
all,
okay, the other guy.
you
So
have to use make sure you do not show them your U.S.
right.
passport section, your picture area.
Yeah, show them only because when we're at the immigration office, he put a sticker of
Yeah.
the consulate. Sorry, the consulate. He put a whole other sticker right in there with our picture and everything. It's green, looking greenish. So only show. Make sure you have it open to that
Your
part,
Mexican,
or they
yeah.
will stamp the other part, and you will be like a visitor and you messed up. So
Yep.
he looked over it, he scanned it, etc.
We had to type in some
Type in some
information,
stuff.
and,
Yeah,
and I think this is why the attorney was telling us this. With your Mexican, when you come back from the Mexico consulate, you're going to get their Mexico visa passport thing, and you have 30 days. They're going to write 30 days on that.
yeah,
So what he did was the person that took us through outside of baggage claim, when we were coming into entry, he was putting in our new Mexico passport number
right,
into the system
right.
so that I'm assuming it was being relayed to the immigration office. So that once that clock started from our entry through the gate
Yeah,
into the airport, that meant we were on that time schedule. So once
right.
those 30 days had passed and we didn't fulfill the thing, then obviously we would be subject to fines, deportation, or whatever other stuff.
Yeah, and also we cannot once you come back into Mexico, you cannot leave until that process is done, or you will have to start all over again. So that's one thing we can't go anywhere. We can't go to the states or anything.
So until we get our card back or
yes,
get the new
get everything
card,
processed. Yeah,
we're not. So, but one of the things again, when we're talking about our biggest comparison, um, I would say just to kind of get back to how we see differently the United States now
right.
after living here for so long. Um, Las Vegas is a huge city.
Yeah,
So once we got into Las Vegas, we had our rental car. We were literally on the freeways, driving, traveling at distance. Like
yeah,
everything was far. Now in Puerto Vallarta, what we did in the drive time, we do in walking time
yeah,
because you can literally walk 30 minutes
yeah.
each direction and hit literally everything you want to see or get to.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's easier here to just, first of all, be without a car.
Right.
And some of you who are still in the States might be afraid of leaving your vehicle or selling your vehicle before you move to Mexico. And with that, I would say this because that was one of our fears, or at least one of my fears, was to being in the States. I was so dependent on our vehicle because we are so dependent, especially in Las Vegas. It is so spread out and huge.
Yeah.
But here in Puerto Vallarta, it's a different story. We have enough public transportation and Uber where you're not getting gouged to jump in an Uber or a DD ride or an in-drive ride where you can afford to do those things. So I do not miss not having a vehicle anymore. In fact, it's very liberating to not have a car anymore.
It is. I would say so. So how do you? What about pricing wise? So is the comparison of having your own vehicle and paying insurance and gas and all that?
Well, that
Is
depends
it
on
more?
it depends on the people. Depends on how much you're traveling and stuff. But I would
Yeah.
say for us, again,
Is it cheaper as an Uber out here?
well, Ubers are way cheaper. So for like you say, you leave the airport in Las Vegas, you're gonna be and going to any hotel or
Okay.
something.
Go out, bud.
You're literally gonna spend probably 20 to
Sorry.
$30 to go 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, here we can go 30 minutes and only pay like $5 to $10 in a car.
Yeah.
So there's no comparison there. Plus, living here, yeah, the roads are way smoother in the States, and that's great. As far as the drivers, it's no different. I mean, honestly, but we have a harder terrain in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
It's so the cobblestones
Cobblestone roads.
are brutal on the vehicles,
Yeah.
and the tight streets make it really tight. So you have to be a really good driver, and you
Yeah,
have
you
to
do.
understand the second set of lanes that we have.
Yeah.
We have this weird second set of lanes that if you were to be, you have to be in the far right to make the left that cruises over 4 lanes on the
Yeah.
200 out here. I don't know how they came up with that, but those are things that you have to learn. But of course, driving in the U.S., in a sense, it would make more sense because compared to living here, we have
Yeah.
such a maybe it's just that we're accustomed to it, but you have certain ways of how things work. Of course, you're not running red lights, street stop signs in the States. Here in Puerto Vallarta, anything goes.
What stop sign?
The stop signs are there, and sometimes the stop signs are in a spot where they shouldn't be there because it's still a straight line and you're driving right through that stop sign.
Yeah.
So
It's different.
it's very different.
Driving is very different. It reminds me of when I saw a video in India. You know how they drive in India.
Yeah.
We're so close and so tight, but it's like a some type of woven synchrony of
Chaotic synchrony.
yes, and they're this
Symphony.
close to each other. Like a bus driver, they can still be this close to each other, and they're like, and then they stop to talk to each other, and then or even stop to go get lunch. And while we're sitting on the bus, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, but that's how they drive, and you're thinking, how did you even do that? Excellent drivers, I would say, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as
Now,
far as
the cool thing about when we got back to Vegas was so we just happened, which was amazing. Like the day, what did we have? 2 days after we got off the plane, the last Stanley Cup final game
oh yeah,
for the Vegas Golden Knights was that day. So we just happened to be back home in time to catch the last game, the game where the Vegas Golden Knights beat. Gosh, now I'm losing my mind on who we played. I want to say the Panthers, but it wasn't.
Sharks, no.
No, no. We won 9-3.
Yeah,
And
all that matters was that we won. That was the point.
we had the highest. First of all, that's the highest scoring. We tied like the other team for the history of goals
That's
scored
crazy.
in a Stanley Cup
Yeah,
championship game,
it was nice.
and it was great.
The
to be in
energy there
Vegas
was
for all
amazing,
that. The
yeah.
energy was great.
Yeah, because we went to casinos. I gotta post that. Yeah, I'll post it probably later on today because the energy was really amazing. Everybody was hyped up and excited because we already knew we won. So
But you know, at the same time, I didn't miss being in the casino. In fact, I felt like, it's weird because being in the States, I was and this is what really I noticed. We spent, even though it's hot outside here and there, we spent more time inside when it was necessary to go outside, which we were running and gunning all the time that we were there in Vegas.
yeah,
But in Vegas, the casino life, even if you're locals.
Yeah.
For some people, their gambling habits or whatever, that's where they congregate. And I did not miss being in the casinos. I did not miss the food options that we had in the States. I definitely did not miss the cost of eating out there
Oh,
in the
not a
United
chance.
States was
It's expensive.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah, very expensive.
I mean, so I mean,
What's
sometimes people are. I really, your best life really is not where you're at, especially when you're trying to get out of there.
right?
The fear of the unknown is that can stagnate you and keep you
Yeah,
from making that move.
that's true.
I honestly wish that when our house was supposed to have sold the first time, that we would have got out then.
Yeah,
But it didn't happen that way.
for a reason though.
And so, and then I kind of wish we would have got out back in 2016 when we first started talking about moving. But during the process, when we were just kind of watching travel videos, we started looking in different places like Belize
Yeah, we
first,
start off with Belize. We went to Belize. We thought about Bali. We thought about what is it?
Panama and
Panama.
stuff like that.
A lot
But
of different places, but Mexico was closer to home, just in case we had to get back. It was comfortable to be here. Like people, they speak Spanish, but at the same time, they're accommodating. It's of course cheaper.
and I
The
can tell you
dollar goes
this,
further.
we found ourselves speaking to like the store clerks and everything else,
Yeah.
responding in Spanish by habit, um, because that's just the way we've had to do it here. So it was kind of weird because we kept
Oh, when we went back, you mean?
when we were in Vegas,
Oh
we
yeah,
kept like literally sporting goods store every time we
yeah.
were responding back in
In
Spanish,
Spanish, like oh,
and it was like, okay, wait a minute, we were catching ourselves,
that was funny. Yeah,
but outside of that, honestly, I was not. I guess the luster or the the thing of the United States was not with me,
excuse me.
and I'm so happy to not be caught up in the news thing, the U.S. news,
Yeah,
because
it's too much.
when we got back and the things that we heard since we've left Las
Yeah,
Vegas, especially on the strip in Las Vegas, we were told over and over again is how much more dangerous it is, how much more crazier it is,
yeah,
and all these different incidents. And I was thinking, you know what? The U.S. has so much propaganda about how dangerous it is. It's here in Mexico, but the reality is there's way more random violence,
yes,
acts of
yes,
violence, and stupidity
yes,
in the United States than there is here in Mexico.
absolutely.
I mean,
Well,
there is.
they have gun control here. It's not like the United States. Anybody can have a gun. You know, that's how it is. Here, no, you can't just come in here with no gun. You better be some type of official. You better be in the military, police officer, something. People ain't walking around here strapped. That ain't the thing out here. It's just
Right.
that's why it's so more safer because of the fact that you don't hear about shootings like school shootings and random shootings in stores and things like that. No, it'd be maybe petty thievery here and there. And I'm not saying it's perfect here, but at the same time, little petty thievery. You don't hear about people getting killed just randomly walking down the street. Not really. I have not heard
No.
that yet. So
And you don't have the fear when you see law enforcement if it's
uh,
going to be your day,
it is
where
chilling.
it's a wrong move or some kind of
Yeah,
weird counter.
it's
Because
crazy
nobody
here.
should be dealing with law enforcement in such a way where you don't know if the outcome is going to be that you're still safe.
Right.
Here we have again our policia and our National Guard that are walking around with machine guns and stuff, and you see them on the daily here on the streets. Like literally, since we're on the beach,
Yeah.
we're like a block away. There's going to be, or actually probably right here, there's
Yep.
going to be like a few armed guys, but it's like no big deal. Nobody feels
Yeah.
threatened by them, and that's the thing. They don't feel threatened by
No.
seeing, these officials, these policia or National Guardsmen, and we see like there'll be like usually like a caravan of two truckloads of National Guardsmen
Yeah.
cruising down, and everybody's strapped with machine guns, and they'll be here and there, and it's like no big deal.
Because they're actually here to protect us.
Yeah, So
it.
it's not the
They're
same,
not here.
and
They're
all of
not here
that
to
stuff you're
harass you.
hearing and getting scared. It's like
Yeah,
get away from
right.
it. Again, quit listening to
Cartel and
people
all this
that
other
aren't
stuff.
here, and quit listening to people that are basically if they're vacationing here, but they're still going here and they're talking about how scary it is, but they keep coming here to vacation while
Right. It's so
you're sitting at home.
yeah. It's so scary to come visit vacation every year, and several times a year. Come on now, that doesn't add up.
Don't buy that.
Right. It's just propaganda, scare tactics. If you ever think about coming to Mexico, come to PB, very safe. You can look up online like we did at first to find out what's the safest locations in Mexico. Choose to do it that way. I mean, really, like any place in the world, there's going to be some good. There's going to be good and bad. Okay. If it's an overwhelming amount of unsafety, of course you don't go. But however, you won't hear that out here. You won't just look it up. You'll see it's not what you think.
Yeah,
But come and experience for yourself. That's your best bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's weird is as much as how bad traffic is
Yeah.
compared to even say, I mean, as far as how tight and crazy the chaotic the driving is in a way in the roads, you have more road rage, and you
Oh,
definitely have road rage in the United States.
yeah.
But funny enough, here you have more courtesy,
Right.
which is like an odd thing because everybody is like literally they're running and gunning these stop signs, and it's whoever gets there first in a way. But there's somehow give room for the other
Right.
car. It's
Right.
like
It's I guess a dance,
it's
a
some kind of
synchronized
chaotic dance,
car dance. Like, they'll go 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 go. They won't be all
but
like
it's not road rage. So
no
you
no no.
don't
They tell
hear
you go go go. You know.
in Vegas, definitely road rage.
Ah
Definitely road rage.
yes. Yeah. People are tripping.
Because there's so much construction there, and people get very impatient there. It's a
Yeah.
very, coming from the United States, it's a me, ego-centric, dominated
Yeah.
type of culture.
Yes.
Here, that is not the case.
I think because here is more community based, family based, where a lot of times in the U.S., unfortunately, it's more of an individuality. So
Yeah,
that's what we kind of lost our way in the United States. Instead of keeping it more family, taking care of one another, people just shun. They don't even pay attention. Someone gets hurt, they ignore it. No one's running after to help someone because they make it so scary that if I help someone, will they sue me? If I, how it was back in the day, everybody sues somebody. You come out there and try to save somebody's life. Once they get saved, and then they wake up, they go, "Well, I didn't, you did something wrong to me, so I'm going to sue you." It's like you had no right to touch me. I'm like, I saved your life. What are you talking about? So a lot of that scariness has happened in the United States over the past centuries, where it's like people are hands up.
yeah,
No family, no collective love, no collective unity and help for one another.
right,
And hopefully one day we can get back to that.
yeah. So one thing I would say, especially if you're considering moving here to Mexico in an city,
Yeah.
I would say this because these are the things that I had to make sure that I did when we got back to Las Vegas, being that we had 7 days to get this stuff done. Um, I had to make sure that because here the electronics and stuff are more expensive because a lot of things are imported into Mexico.
Yeah.
So when it comes to say electric cords, your surge protectors, things like that,
Yeah.
you definitely want to bring them.
Yeah.
Now, for us, we sold literally everything before we left, but there were with our kids and stuff, we left things that we couldn't sell.
Right.
But literally, we don't have a place to go back to.
Yeah.
We do not have a place to go back to.
Yeah.
But we do have spots where things that they were given to them, if they could sell it or if they could use it, then it was left with them.
Right.
So I was able to go back because I had trunks full of like electrical cords and stuff and Cat 5 cable for internet cable and stuff. And I made sure that we got a cheap suitcase. Fortunately, we got a free suitcase because my mom had a suitcase that she used once for a trip to Amsterdam. And it's a giant suitcase.
Yes,
And
huge.
I loaded that with my stuff that I thought stuff that I thought was stolen by TSA, and I apologize TSA because when we left in December last year, we were in such a rush. We were trying to cram everything into 2 suitcases that when I thought I could fit it, and I couldn't. I had to leave stuff behind. I left
Yeah.
stuff in the hotel room we were at, and they got some
Oh
really
yeah.
good
We
stuff.
gifted the
I
cleaning
had other
people.
stuff that when my mom
Yeah.
picked us up from the airport or from the hotel to take us to the airport, I forgot I left it in her car, and then she had to put it underneath her bed and was sitting there. So I could recover my old pickleball paddles. I recovered some workout equipment. I recovered some things, and I just got that big giant suitcase and I started putting in electrical cords. You want to do your
Yeah.
surge protectors. Um,
You buy anything?
uh,
You buy anything?
Not
What
really. I
about
mean,
these?
well, I bought these things, but there's things I'm talking about. Again, not everybody's going to be doing a YouTube channel, but if you choose to,
You should,
definitely
but
bring.
you should.
You should bring your microphones. Get your microphones.
Yeah.
Order from the U.S.
Yeah.
I
And that's what
brought
I
back a
did.
drone that I purchased there, and fortunately, we did not get taxed through
Right.
coming through
That's my
customs.
point earlier. I was saying they didn't go through our stuff.
They didn't go
Once
through
we
our
got
stuff.
done with our passport part, we took our luggage through it. They'll have you put it through a conveyor belt again, a single one by itself, and it'll check it. Like it'll just be whatever. I guess if something really bad's in there. None of that stuff got opened. Nothing got checked.
We didn't
They're
get
just
pulled
we didn't
over.
get pulled
We didn't have
over.
to pay
You're
another
like,
excess duty tax.
nope, that was nothing. So that was another blessing that happened
Yeah, but
for
I think
sure.
we're a little bit different because we have the favor of the Lord on our life. We do. Sorry, but we do. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously,
The
if
things
you're
I
not
brought.
praying through a lot of stuff,
Oh
again,
yeah, we definitely prayed.
the way we got our home here, prayer, the way we finally got out in Las Vegas, being able to sell all of our furniture. And I'll have to talk about that because, again, I think a lot of people some people are who want to leave and are struggling with this move to basically do their exodus out of the United States. You're stuck in limbo with this paralysis because you have all this stuff that you have to get rid of. And I can say this: what made this trip to the United States so much easier is because we unloaded everything
Yeah.
that was. There's nothing like where we don't have a storage sitting there waiting
Right.
for with stuff in it. Even stuff that's still in the states that nobody claimed. I mean, yeah, I have access to it if I want it,
Yeah.
but I don't really claim
You don't need
anything
it.
because there's nothing really that I left for myself.
No, it's not necessary. And the things like we just happen to be able to leave a bucket at my son's house and a little item, some items at his mom's house. That's it. So if you have a family member, if you want to leave a few things, leave it in their garage or whatever, just in case you want when you do go back and visit, you can pick that up. And we
Yeah,
ordered.
especially because it's stuff that you want to bring back here.
Right. So just in case you bring it back in your first suitcase run. But I was saying I ordered a few items as well, and I picked those things up at my son's house and brought that back in the suitcase. So that was kind of cool to be able to do that if you decide to go back. I'll make sure you order some things if it's Amazon or whatever, get it all prepped and ready there, so that when you get there, you can just bring it back.
Yeah.
So you don't miss out. So
And I would say, especially, you want to make sure you start a list now. And I would say also start now unloading your stuff.
yes.
If you really are thinking you're looking at a 1 year, 2 year plan, okay, well, 1 year, 2 year plan starts today.
And it goes like
Start
that.
start moving as a minimalist. Start minimalizing your life. Unless you're looking to, buy a home out here and you want to, pay the expense to like get a 18 wheeler and bring all your junk here. But I wouldn't do that even because
I,
if you're leaving, that you should do a fresh break. Start somewhere fresh
yeah,
because
feels better.
it's so much. A lot of times, even when you move to a place, you may not know exactly where you're going to land or how you want to land.
Yeah.
But give yourself the flexibility to be a minimalist so that you could be nomadic. So that if you're in a location, a town or a city that you think you're gonna like, but after a month or two, you realize, that's not it. Well, then you can take what little you have and
Right.
travel to the next town or city
Right.
while you're abroad.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the fact that you don't speak the language because we didn't speak the language here, and we're still barely
Learning.
speaking the
Still
language.
learning. Yes.
The whole thing is that, in the United States, we have tons of immigrants and foreigners that live in the United States
Yeah.
that are doing the exact same thing that we're free to do
Right.
in their country, but they're doing it every day in the United States.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
you know,
That's so true.
you can do it too.
Yeah.
And, it's just, again, it's so much
Yeah.
freeing and liberating.
And if you have a 2-year plan, though, just go ahead while you're there in the United States and start practicing on like the app Duolingo. I like that app because it's easy. You can look at it every day and it reminds you. You can take lessons there. You can do it here as well. But why not pick up on some basic sentences, while you're out there? The number system, or that
There's
way.
tons of
Yeah, I mean,
better,
yeah,
way
get
good
started.
apps, and then there's
Yeah.
educative apps where you can talk with a native speaker, and you do
Yes. I forgot what it's called.
iTalki.
Yeah.
You can use iTalki to do some conversational Spanish or whatever with somebody online.
Yes.
Or your best bet is if you have a coworker or a friend or somebody like that that isn't Spanish speaking, utilize them. Utilize somebody's cousin's cousin. Utilize their best
Yeah.
friend's things like that, because the more you start to integrate that and also start finding like music, uh, different artists that are Spanish speaking or Spanish
That's true.
singing
Yeah.
artists and shows, start to
Yeah.
spend your time getting that immersion,
Right. Little by little.
because it'll help you. You're gonna learn the language not so much out of the book, but through hearing
Yeah.
and taking courage to speak back and
That's what
respond.
helped me a lot. I didn't learn much before I came here at all, really. And so, because it was so much chaos trying to get everything done with the move and everything and working and all that. So when we finally got out here, though, I realized that the more I started studying, looking at the lingo, watching the shows, like Jimmy said, with here and there, right? And then I would see the signs, or like the signs outside the store, the food, 'cause, I'm a chef, so looking at the food and name for the food, it helped me a lot that way because I had to go purchase the items, and while I'm purchasing them, I would look even in my Google translator and just put that on it and read it. We do that a lot, so that we can pick up on those words. Being out here around people and around the culture helps you to learn even
Yeah.
more so. So then what we do is we go out and about, start Google Translator, read, come back here, then study Duolingo and look at shows like Jimmy's been watching certain shows that have just letting them talk in Spanish in the background. If we're watching it or cooking it, because you will pick up, your brain will pick up on that. So that has helped with this.
Yeah. And then when we go to the movie theater here,
Yeah.
we go to the uh, English, like, so the movie theaters here will have movies in English and in Spanish. So if we get the ones in English, they have subtitles. So then we're used to going to a big screen movie theater with subtitles on the,
Yeah.
and by doing that, you're able to kind of see the spelling
Yeah.
of the words in English, so you would
Right.
say you would know how to um, maybe later use that one phrase.
Right.
And my main focus when I'm trying to learn and understand Spanish, because when the gym I go to, obviously I'm the only American or gringo that goes in there, so everybody else is Spanish, Mexican, but there are a few that are bilingual, and which is great. But a lot of times, I'm just looking for phrases to pick up, not specific words. I want phrases because we speak in phrases.
Right.
Usually if you want something, you have a phrase that you can always use all the time. What time is it? There you go. That's your one sentence phrase or question that you have. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? Things like that. Those are things that you can always just get the whole thing together, and then later you can start to see each individual word that's being used out of that sentence that can apply to another sentence that helps you in a different situation.
That's helpful.
But it was, I could say the the experience of living here definitely made me appreciate more of getting back. I was really, I enjoyed my time in Vegas, but I was not homesick whatsoever. And I
I
think that's
wasn't
where you
homesick.
really need to know, because your affections, if you're wanting to leave, but your affections are so much still in the States or wherever you're from before you do your exodus, maybe you're not at that place where you really want to go, um,
Huh.
because you still have the fears of, am I making the right decision?
And that's normal.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be normal to have that apprehension because of the fact that it's something new. If it's foreign to you, you have never been to Mexico or wherever you want to travel to. If you haven't traveled there before, it's understandable. Even if you have, if you have an idea that you really want to live somewhere outside of the United States, I would say get some ducks in a row, like we said earlier. Get your visa. Do all the process that you need to do, so that when the time comes, you will be able to leave and transition easier. Like start minimalizing, like Jimmy said, getting stuff out of the house like we did. The more we started getting rid of stuff, the more we realized, oh, this is real. This is getting real. So once you start doing that, giving away things, selling things, do it early as possible because sometimes you'll think, oh, someone's gonna want to buy my air fryer. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's almost brand new,
And you
practically
find out
brand
they're
new.
not gonna.
And you're like, no, you hear crickets because no one's buying it, right? And it's frustrating at the time because you know how much you pay, but then you might end up having to just give it away or sell it for $10 after you pay $200 for it. Things like that. So you want to start getting those things in order ahead of time, all the little things, because when you start moving, just like when you pack and move to another house, sometimes or travel, you go from one house to another one, and you'll go, "There's so much stuff. How many boxes do you possibly have?" That's what you start experiencing. So the best thing for you to do is get it out the way early. I don't care if it's a year in advance, and then you'll start realizing, I'm really ready to move and make this transition. It'll be less scarier, less hectic, and less stressful. Trust me when I say it. Just do it early.
So I wanted to show you guys something because again, I think that this is like. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can edit there.
See, yeah. I'll look on my phone to see if it's there.
So I'm about to get it together here for you. Right. So I'm going to show you this. This is one of the things that I think people should really do when you're about to move. Yeah. I came up with this thing when we were trying to sell all of our stuff and get rid of it because I really think you need to take a clean break and just sell everything. I created a Google spreadsheet when I started to, get our stuff together because I was like, okay, we're going to have this, hopefully you can see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I see it. Let's see.
I don't see it up there.
It's coming.
But what
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at this, I started a Google spreadsheet to do like my own virtual garage sale because you know what? When you first start trying to sell your stuff, you're thinking, oh man, everybody's gonna buy my stuff because it's expensive and you love your stuff. But that's not the case. So and then when you go on the marketplace, you try to do that, and that doesn't necessarily work out. So what I started doing was in order to organize all of the stuff we have, because the best way to do it is organize and start selling your stuff the any way you can. I just started creating a spreadsheet. I made these different things, I had paintings, pictures. I started putting a title for them. I gave them their own particular number. You can see here, they all have like a number here. And then I would say if I needed sizes, audio equipment. So then I started taking the pictures and I started basically putting the pictures and stuff in categories.
Nice.
So that whenever somebody wanted something, I literally sent this spreadsheet out to people. And when they started selling, I started marking them off.
Yep.
Not everything is marked up on this one because it depends on the edition I had there. But I had all these, pictures, paintings, and stuff like that we did, and books. We unloaded tons of books. We had so many books. And eventually you're going to find out that you're just going to have to, come down to where you're going to have to bring your prices down to whatever. So I kept a spreadsheet so that they could see instead of somebody asking, how much is that? How much is that? No, I gave them a price. I put it in here. If I decided to discount it, I put that in there as well in the spreadsheet. Right. But you can see we even had our bakery business and the things that I had to like this tent, my canopy. We sold. The picture's not there, but I sold that in the parking garage or parking lot at the South Point Casino. Our 10 by 10. But these are the things that I can go over a video on this later.
Yeah. Let us know if you need help with figuring all that out.
Because you organize your stuff instead of having it all scattered. Start taking pictures of your stuff now.
Yeah. Yes.
Of your furniture.
Right.
Start categorizing it on a spreadsheet. Start putting that stuff in a Google Drive file and set up your spreadsheet so that way you have a link that goes directly to that picture,
Right.
so that anybody that wants to see it, you just send them that spreadsheet or whatever.
Yeah.
They can click on that link, and then when we were getting messages back about the stuff that we were selling, instead of saying, "Oh, how much for that couch?" Blah blah blah. They would say, "Oh, AO22
Yep. Yep.
or JJ72,"
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
Because I made sure for each category they had their alphanumeric system set up, so that way, once we knew what we were talking about on the other end. Okay, you're really asking me about this particular item because you used the item number I gave it, and then we would make our meeting points, our places of
Yes.
meet,
Yeah.
and go ahead and get it done.
That's right.
So we started using like Facebook Marketplace. We
Yes.
started using,
Um,
we had a whole bunch of market groups.
neighborhood. If you have
Neighborhood
that
app,
neighborhood app is good. Yeah.
and then in your own social media postings, you just send them a link to your Google Drive
Right.
where you have your spreadsheet set up, and let people start filtering through there.
Yeah.
If you have anything that you're willing to ship, or you can set up even your price structure, where you have shipping costs and all of that, if you're willing to do that for
Right.
them, then you can do all of that. You can sell a car that way.
Oh yeah.
You can post your house if you're going to sell your house on your own.
Hey, I posted a house on the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and I got some people asking about it. Hey,
So,
hey.
I mean, just try to do the best thing you can to make it the easiest possibility.
Right. And the most organized too, because when you're trying to sell stuff, you pack everything up or put it in the garage or however you're doing it, right? Sometimes you forget, oh, that already sold. But if you have it a bit organized, you could just, like Jimmy said, just take it off. You don't have to worry about it, because that happened, I think, twice. Someone asked for something, I forgot to tell Jimmy to check it off, and that person asked for it. They were trying to come down to get it, but it was already sold.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
books. And the easy
Oh
thing
yeah.
with books is that, we could put those in a box or a certain box,
Yeah.
and on the outside you could label what item numbers were in that box,
Right. With a marker.
so that you could always go back to it and
Right.
check it
Check
off
it
that
off.
way
Off the
too.
box. Yeah.
So
Marker.
I would definitely say that if you're having a struggle with decluttering and in getting organized that way, the thing is you have to start today. If you're really serious about making it, start today.
Yeah.
We went months, and I mean months, because before, when we were ready to move, we were already in the process of we're going to sell the house, get rid of everything. We were down to new furniture, but bed, yeah,
Yep.
two forks, two knives,
I
two
remember that.
spoons, plates,
Yeah.
one pan to cook with.
And yeah. That's right.
We
Forgot
were
about that.
in an empty shell for a while.
Yeah, it was kind of
And then when somebody backed out of our
Oh
home,
yeah.
and the market changed real fast, we lost about from our sale price, we lost about 35,000. That went down in a few months. But
Excuse me.
we had unloaded everything, and then we were at the point where we had set it. That was the other thing. We had put a day,
Yeah.
when the first date didn't happen, the house didn't sell. We picked the second date, which was in December of last year,
And it happens.
and we said, "This is it. Whether it sells or not,
Oh yeah. Yes.
leaving."
We'll figure out something, whether we Airbnb it, I didn't want to rent it out or Airbnb. Personally, I didn't want to, because I didn't want to have to deal with people in my home, and have to deal with breakage or whatever reason, right? That's why we really wanted to just sell the home and make it clean. It was easier for us, at least, for that. Some people rent their home out, some people Airbnb it, but to each his own. They all work. All these options work. However, we just wanted to just make it clean, break and be here.
Yeah, we didn't want to have anything that would have to pull us back.
Yes.
That we had responsibility to, that was
Yeah.
like that could interfere with traveling, especially if you
Yeah.
plan on traveling,
Yeah.
because you don't necessarily know. Uh, you may want to just spend more time slow traveling
Yeah.
a country, but we did that, and when it came to a couple months after the first sale fell through, and we had nothing in the house, and we were like, okay, well, now we might consider Airbnb-ing the house.
Right.
So we went out trying to find furniture, and fortunately, we were able to get leather furniture and stuff for
Free.
free.
It was beautiful,
Beautiful
brand new
furniture.
looking leather furniture, upscale, price. Like that furniture was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now we had this beautiful because we had our beautiful wooden floor stuff, and we had the house tricked out, and we took pictures again, and we were getting it set up for Airbnb. But guess
And guess
what?
what happened?
It's sold because
About a week later, I'm like, really though? Really though?
we had another offer that popped in, that and it's like
I was like, what
then
the
we had
heck?
to get rid of that furniture again. So, but you know what? It was worth it in that sense because it was like that was disposable furniture.
I was happy but kind of mad. I was like,
It
what
was
the heck?
disposable, even though it was very upscale, nice.
Yeah,
And I want actually wait a minute. It's sitting okay. So then what we
so,
did do was we set it up for my niece who had just moved in from Sacramento into Las Vegas for her and her boyfriend to take over
yeah.
our bed and that furniture. I mean, it's her unit, her new apartment will be hooked up. It's because we were ready. There was nothing for us to do after that. We had already emptied everything out. We were ready to go.
Yeah.
We were delayed. And you
Yeah,
know what?
wow.
We even bought a blow up sofa for a minute. So you can always do
I
that.
forgot about that.
Yeah, we did. We bought a blow up for a while.
It's funny.
Just to fill in because we were like, no, we're not gonna invest in putting, because our unit was where our living space is upstairs above the garage.
Yeah.
So we're like in a loft style townhouse. And we were like, no, I'm not going to bring that big stuff up there. But we ended up bringing it up there. Found a great neighbor that just moved next door to us.
Oh yeah.
And that dude helped us get it in
Oh, yeah.
and even get stuff out of there.
Like it wasn't nothing.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was pretty cool.
He was like really cool. So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was the process of us getting out of the United States. It was a lot of stress. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of unsurety, if that's the word. I just made it up if it's not. But it was a lot of that. So, but finally we made it. We feel great about leaving. I don't have any remorse about being here in Mexico. I love it here.
yeah,
I feel completely safe. I mean, my door's open. I mean, usually the window's open. I mean, people are wonderful here.
we
They're
spend more time outside,
outside.
off the
Yes.
couch,
Yes.
out of the living room.
Yes.
We spend way more time with new people
Yeah.
on the daily basis,
I know we meet people all the
enjoying
time.
life. One thing that I don't think gets the credit for our PBR, as some people call it, because of our airport lettering.
Excuse me.
It's a healthy city.
Yeah.
It's a very tourist
It
city.
is.
It's like having the Vegas Strip on the mountain in a way, but it's a very healthy
Yeah.
city in the sense that you see more people that are walking and stuff that are seniors they get their health back.
Just swimming in the water out there. Like last night when it was,
Last night when it was
pouring down
raining,
raining,
pouring,
and people were in the ocean swimming and having fun,
oh my
laughing.
gosh,
I was like, whoa! I'll post that too later.
they were. I mean, it was great,
Yeah,
and
it was fun.
we don't miss anything. I don't. In fact, the shows that I did watch, and I had some shows that I did watch in Vegas. I'm behind on a lot of them because I'm not in the house
No
enough to
need to
watch
be.
them. I got rid of a lot of subscriptions that we were, like YouTube TV and stuff,
Yeah.
because now it's like I'd rather enjoy life outside. I don't miss my Xbox anymore. I played my Rocket
Rocket
League
League
tournaments every night.
and hockey.
I could be up till 3, 4 in the morning playing on my days off. But honestly, I don't miss any of it. And I played that when I got back to Vegas. So don't think that, oh yeah. No, when I got back to Vegas, at night, when we got back in the house after running around all day,
Yeah.
on my grandson's TV, they put the TV in the room with the Xbox, and I got to play his Xbox and with my profile. And now that I'm gone, do I miss it? No, I don't at all.
Oh,
I
really?
haven't even thought about it until I just said it now. Because really, it's not. I enjoy our life here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
It's
think
fun.
that you would enjoy your life
Yeah.
outside of, once you make your exodus.
Part of your home country. Yeah.
If you're like us, who is at one point, if you were us, like say 8 months ago,
Oh,
10 months ago,
oh,
if you
oh,
were us then, I'm
uh-huh.
telling you, it's better on the other side. Kind of like
Yes,
Silo, the TV series Silo on Apple TV
I know
Plus.
that
It
series.
might be that what they show you through the window is fake.
Oh,
It's
I
not
didn't
real.
know that.
It isn't.
Yeah,
Mexico is not that what you
right.
see. It's
Yeah,
actually pretty out there, and there's
yeah.
life.
It's worth it.
So
It's worth it. It's
it's
worth it.
worth
It's
it.
worth taking that leap of faith and going forward. And if you, oh, also want to ask if anyone has any questions. Comment below if you have any questions for us. Go for it. I know we've been just talking, but let us know if you have any questions, and we'll gladly ask us anything. We'll gladly, well, to a point, ask us anything. We'll gladly answer it for you. But yeah, we don't miss United States like that. And good thing is we're both on the same page because sometimes you'll have a mate that may not want to move. Because I have friends who have that issue right now, and the mate still are up in the air about being out here in Mexico. So that's the plus that we had at least. We started in advance looking at, videos about Mexico, about other countries, and we kind of had that bug back then several years ago to want to be able to go outside the United States. So that was a blessing for us. But sometimes you might not have that companion that wants to move at the same time you do. So that's a big pressure point for some people as well. So, I mean, what would you think that would be a good advice to tell that person how to go about, you
Well, I
know,
mean, for anybody like that, I don't know if you're. It depends on your personalities and how you deal with that stress because it is going to be stressful. I would say this: you can't force somebody to do something they're not going to want to do. But I can tell you this: you do not have to be sure about the move that you make before you make the move, because we had so many things that came up that literally were like these barriers that kept hitting us
yes,
before the date
obstacles.
of flying.
Yeah,
We had to push our flight date back a couple weeks because the house was still stuck in the limbo and getting all the paperwork done. And you
yes.
can't
Good
go to
Lord.
Mexico, finish selling the house, have to sign papers. You're not going to be able to flip flop into the country like that. But and then there was just other things that just showed
Yes.
up, and it was stressful. It was extremely stressful before the flight,
Yeah.
before December 22nd, 2022. It
Yeah, it
was
was.
extremely stressful
Yeah.
for that second flight date that we had to pick.
Yeah.
But we drew a line and said, this is it.
No matter what
No
happened.
matter what happened.
Yep.
And you will never, ever, ever feel like you're fully ready,
No,
especially if
no
you've
way.
never, like Rose had never been out of the country like that.
I've never been out, yes, out of country nowhere. Never been to Mexico. No, Jimmy's been to Mexico several times as when he was a teenager, youth, and young adult. I have not been. First time here ever. We flew into Cancun. Then we went to Merida. That was our plan to live in Merida. To have a community out there, even though it was hot. But it seemed like it was an easier transition to go to Merida. But then we got the house sit out here for 5 months. Like we have a video on that, and we end up being PV. And first time here. And in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, uh, even though I watch videos about how nice Mexico and don't worry, blah blah blah, you still have a feeling of like because it's a new place, like any place, and it's a new place with a foreign language that you don't understand if you don't understand Spanish. Okay, that was my experience. So for me, it was more
Hmm.
of a I had butterflies in my stomach often. Plus, the houses that we were at was up in the jungle, like up in the boonies. So I really didn't have all locals talking only the language. Coming down the hill further down, sure there were some, regular people who
Gringos.
gringos or people who spoke English. But all that time, it was like a culture shock for me.
Yeah, we were kind of cut off.
Yeah.
I mean, we still could make it down to the Malecon and stuff. When you're going that far and at night, you don't. For us in the beginning, you're not trying to walk up a hill at
No.
night and not really understanding the bus system here yet,
Right.
because those are challenges that you have anytime you get to a
Yeah.
new place. Um, how do you function riding the bus, especially if you don't speak the language and you got to figure out how do you get off and on that bus?
Right.
So many
That
times,
was
like I
challenge.
said, we've been kicked off the bus I think 4 or 5 times here
Yeah.
because it hit the end of a route, and we thought it was going in a certain direction, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh well, too bad. And some of the bus drivers can be extremely rude, you know.
Ooh. Ooh.
And
Okay,
so it's
so
just like the way it happens. These are things
yeah.
that happen to us, but we've grown from it.
Yes.
And I'm telling you again, there's no growth without the risk.
Yes.
Risk taking is a part of traveling. Risk taking is a part of growth
Yes.
because you do have to risk certain things.
Yes.
But once you get past the scare curtain,
Oh yeah.
because there is this curtain of fear that
Yes.
basically clouds your vision of what the things that haven't happened that you presume might happen are the things that are in your vision so close
Yes.
that it's like once you take those glasses off and you peer through the veil and you actually walk into that country, this country, you
Yeah.
find out that it's definitely not what they said.
No.
Again, even the medical and the dental here.
Oh,
Oh, if we would have known what was here, we would have been coming into Mexico a long
like
time
like we
ago.
heard a lot of people have said,
Oh
to
my
get all
gosh.
that. So I just want to say, intentional metamorphosis. I hope I said that right. Says, hey there, we can't wait to get back and meet you both in person. We come next Monday.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
meet us at the Mel.
Yeah,
We can meet you
definitely.
at Los Arcos, or
Oh
we can
yeah.
meet you at the.
All
Well, you
right.
know what?
Let
Our
me go to your
Los
channel.
Muertos, you've seen our pier. The pier in Puerto Vallarta looks like
Let me see.
a sail from a
Yeah.
sailboat. It's under construction right now, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of blocked off, but there's a
Uh,
part that goes down to the pier where they fish.
Yeah.
So, but we're real close to that,
Yeah. I'm gonna subscribe to your channel right now.
and
So that way I don't forget.
but yeah,
Yeah, definitely. We love to meet up with you.
oh yeah, because our friends Will and Yo-Yo from Las Vegas who are out here in
Hi,
PVR.
Will. You
What's up? In case you guys are
Thanks for
watching,
watching.
we ran into them on the Malecon here right by the house,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was so funny because they spotted us walking,
From our channel. They were like, "Hey,
and we've
we
gotten to
watch you."
hang out and
That was
stuff, and
yeah,
now
that was so cool.
it was just really cool. And
Yeah, we love to meet you and let's go out to lunch or dinner or just hang out, play some games because we do love to play games. We have some more. We have board games too.
oh my gosh, okay, oh yeah, we
Oh,
know you guys are coming.
yay! That's what we're going to talk about. Woo!
We know you're
Can't wait to
coming, so
learn
we
some.
look forward to seeing you.
Oh wait, learn more, some more of the rest. Okay, okay. Oh yes, so
So
I'll definitely gladly share some
So
recipes.
let's talk about the recipe since that came up. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, and if you want, you can post
Excuse
your
me.
names in
Excuse me.
the comments because I don't remember the names. All I got was brother and sister-in-law from
I,
the
I'm
conversation.
trying to remember. That was like 3 days ago.
So we were originally when we were in Las Vegas, we were keto for a period of time. We had a keto bakery.
Yeah.
We did shipping nationwide,
Yeah.
and we started venturing into Canada.
Yep.
And but since we've moved, and actually before we moved, I think Rose had transitioned anyway.
Yeah, Robert and
Okay,
Alicia. Yes. Okay,
Alice.
At least
Is
that's
it
at
Alice,
least.
right?
Is that at
Is
least?
it Elise or Alice? Alice, give me a
I like
pronunciation.
I like at least. We're gonna go at least.
But so we were since
Yeah.
we've been here in Vegas because Rose is vegan.
You're in Vegas?
Well, I mean, sorry, we're in PVR.
Yeah, we
Puerto
are.
Vallarta. Sorry for you guys that don't know PVR. Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah. What were you saying?
So now we're vegan, and I'm
I
kind
started
of
being vegan.
I'm
Not
vegan.
since he's eat. Anyway, I was vegan about a year ago. I started last January, so a year and a half, year and 7 months. Wow. So I started being vegan back then, doing fruitarian diets, just eating all fruits. Like right now, I'm on a fruit diet, just eating complete raw fruit. So
Alice. Okay.
anyway, so that's a beautiful name. That's why I remember at least. But so I started that, just for health sake, and just basically for health sake and feeling better about it, feeling better and more energy. I started being a vegan last year and a half ago because I was dealing with a lot of menopause. Because I'll be 56 this year in September. So back then I was dealing with a lot of menopause a couple years ago, and So we stopped doing we started our keto bakery, several years ago, did it for a couple of years. Pandemic hit and it kind of messed our whole groove up, whatever like that. And then we ended up closing the bakery. So I'm thinking about doing it out here. And it's going to be a low carb, some vegan items as well, sugar free always, using monk fruit sweetener. So if you want to see that happen, just let me know. A lot of people are wanting to have that out here. But I'm able to help women. What I do is help women. What are you doing?
Just keep talking.
My business is called The Divine Chef, and you can go to thedivinechef.com. And it's where I help women with weight management. If you're looking to lose weight, just I don't know what he's doing over there, but if you're looking to lose weight, to feel more energy, to how to cook certain foods, or how to just live a healthy lifestyle and live longer, stronger, feel more energetic, then you can hire me as a coach in order to get you on that track of feeling good about yourself, of having just more energy, more vitality. And just, us as women always feel like we're not to that optimal state because we run around a lot. That's not it. We run around a lot. I'm trying to talk and follow Jimmy at the same time. But yeah, we always taking care of everyone else and not ourselves. So with this program that I designed, it's a personalized program for you. So you'll fill out a form just like at a doctor's office, and I will personally craft a design for you that for the type of food that you like to eat, for your weight, for your height, your age, everything. And I'll follow through with you. Every week we'll do a Zoom call. I send encouraging messages out. Pretty much just hold your hand throughout the whole process of your journey, because that's what sometimes we need. We don't need a cookie cutter weight loss program where we here you go, do that and go watch your visit. I'm here for you. And with that program as well, all of our clients also are able to get on our website and have access to tons of recipes, ones that are curated as well. And we do once a month, we do a live cook along. So you'll be able to meet other women, cook together, have fun, and laugh, and just enjoy life together, because it's a journey together. And when you feel like you're isolated, trying to, lose weight or just feel good about yourself, it's better to have friends together doing it alongside you.
So that's the website there. Sorry, I just
He's,
kind of
he's distracted me.
I was pushing that out so you guys can see what that looks like.
Really distracted.
So if you do that,
It's so silly.
Okay. So there you go. I'm just showing you a little bit of stuff right
Yeah.
here. So then with the Divine Chef, I'm not going to go through all of that, but I'm just putting it out there for you guys to think about. And hopefully you guys can see that there. And let me just get this out of the way now.
What is it?
And then we move back. All right, so we're back.
So anyway, this is divinechef.com. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now currently. And since you're coming down, if you live in locally, I was doing some meal prepping, but I'd rather just show you how to prepare certain meals. So we have special recipes, and ones, like I said, ones that I curated. I just recently been working on a vegan burger, all plant-based burger, because a lot of the burgers out there in the market are garbage.
Yeah.
It's all synthetic or all that soy. So I'm working on a few different burger flavors. So Jimmy's over here dropping stuff. But yeah, so and Cedric and Bobby had I love those burgers that I made recently. Remember we took them over to them to sample. So hopefully when you come in, I'll have you sample some of the burgers too.
One of the things that was big that we sold, again, if you look up Rosa's Keto Treats, you see what we had. We had baked mixes and stuff.
Yeah.
But was our low carb bagels.
Oh yeah, those were popular.
So that's what we were really known for, was our low carb bagels.
We might do that here.
Yeah. Hopefully those things will open up to us out here.
Yeah.
I could say this. One thing about Mexico, especially here, you will see entrepreneurship in a huge way. Living up in the jungle, there are tons of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They just don't look like what you want them to look like.
Oh yeah.
There are so many business owners that are local business owners, people that are selling from their houses. There's a lady that right down below us, she has her little pop-up cafe, restaurant out of her trunk of her car, and
Oh,
she has business.
yes.
She's
Like right here in the back of her trunk, she got the food already that she's cooked at home,
she is
plates, everything,
she's popping it out of the back end of the
literally
trunk,
her
and
trunk.
she is hooking it up. And so there's like some creative ways of
Yeah.
making money out here, and
Oh, yeah.
people selling food and stuff and enjoying life.
Yeah.
But I have to
So
say
it's
this,
fun.
since we've been here, we've definitely been. I've been like way more healthier. So
Yeah.
um, we've started really exercising. Before I was just so heavily worked,
Yeah.
uh, overwhelmed with work, working like in Vegas, like 8 to 12 hour days,
What you do?
sometimes 14 hours.
What kind of job did you have?
Well, because I did audio video tech in the convention stuff, in the space and
Yeah.
concerts and stuff. So
Yes.
um,
A lot of work.
us being able to sell our home really opened the door for us to take a sabbatical, to have time
Right.
to detach from the rat race of the U.S. Because again, being in the U.S., we are so indoctrinated to gotta have it now, you gotta work yourself
To
to
death.
death, to your burnout,
Yeah.
no time off, no,
Yeah.
or you're just so consumed with all these other things, and especially fashion, status, things like
Status.
that.
Yeah.
If you really need a break from that, and some people need to go cold turkey to that, you need to come to Mexico and unload. Don't bring that stuff here. Don't bring that type of, if that's not your field. I mean, I'm saying this from my own experience, my own preferences. I've worked with the CEOs and artists and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I'm not really that impressed. What I do see behind the scenes, working with a lot of crews, is a lot of just broken marriages and things like that.
Yeah.
People that don't know their own kids and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and or about 4 or 5 guys that make tons of money but all live in a one-bedroom unit and they don't have a car because of drug situation, things like that.
That's true.
So I'm not trying to duplicate that life and bring it here to Mexico. I want it to be free from that. And I think a lot of you who might be you're interested in that nomadic life and stuff, you have to realize that certain comforts from the U.S. are only comfortable because that's all you know at the time.
Right.
But once you kind of escape that
Yeah.
and you move or you try something different, you might find yourself being able to make accommodations with less of the stuff that you think you're very dependent on. You think you're dependent on those things, but in reality, you may not be. It's just all that you're used to in your environment.
Right.
When you come here, you start to realize that not everything is done exactly the same way as they're done in the US. And
Not
there's
a
good
lot of
and
things.
bad
Yes.
to that. There's some pieces of the US that I would rather have here,
Yeah.
but there's other things from here that I definitely won't give up to move back to the
Oh,
US.
and you get used to it. I mean, it's like any adjustments that you make in life. You get used to it, and you just make adjustments and move forward, not complain. For those who come out here complain about, oh, it's not enough this, oh, I can't believe it's taking so long to get this done. That's not the attitude you should have. You come out here and say, this is Mexico. It's not United States, so things will be different. Things may
Mhm.
take a little longer to get done what you want done, and some things may be surprisingly faster than you expected. So far I'm enjoying it. I haven't
Yeah.
had any problem with things being too slow to get done or whatever. I mean,
And things
you
will
know,
take time. Don't
yeah,
don't get it wrong. Things
yeah,
will,
that's a part of being
administration
here.
wise, it will go slower.
Well, yeah,
It will be slower.
that's just true.
It will. I'm sorry. That's just going to be straight up in your face. So if you're going to be that person that can't stand still and wait,
Be patient.
you're going to have to
Yeah,
learn that, and you
yeah,
can learn that and
yeah.
adjust because again, those are the things that we have. Here we are used to dry heat weather. We're dealing with humidity
Can you not
like
see me sweating every
unbelievable.
5 minutes? Can you not see me? I'm doing this. I'm not trying to. I'm,
But I
it's
mean,
sweaty.
it's
Yes,
humid.
but
It's
guess what?
humid
I
here.
get. That's like it's okay. One, I appreciate the fact that it's a beautiful country. We have the ocean out here. Plus, our expenses are cheaper. You know what I mean? The dollar go, even though the dollar is kind of shifting, it's still better than the United States, where it's just you get more for your buck.
And we're not
I
using all
appreciate
of our
that.
money on lotion. I mean, honestly, when we were flying back to the
You're
States,
so silly.
literally at the our layover was in Phoenix. Our hands dried up
Yeah,
like
that's
what the heck?
yeah, that was it.
It's so weird to be like dry like that. Yeah.
Because the humidity keeps you moist. Yeah, that's what side. Yeah. So is that all you have to say? Like,
And that's all I got to say. I'm just saying.
yeah. But yeah, that's just facts. It's just different. That's all. It's different. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think it's time for us to go. I think the premiere of our video drive time video driving down the Las Vegas Strip has already launched. It's already
Yes.
launched. It launched 20 minutes ago. We were supposed to stop before.
Oh
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So we did have a video that premiered. It's open now, so you can see our drive down the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
Please take a look at that and some of our other content. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to us already.
Thank you.
Leave comments.
Please.
Let us know if you are interested in moving or if you have that kind of bug where you want to go. Let us know how you're going about it and have you ventured out. DM us, let us know when you come to town. Say, hey, I'd like to meet up or something like that. We would love to meet.
So international metamorphosis. Yes, things are different, and we welcome the change. We don't want to relive the U.S. Ready for the change. Yes, even though the dollar has gone down, the inflation in the U.S. is crazy. You got that right.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the plus. Being out here is way better. So I'm giving you props for that one.
So and remember, there's never going to be the perfect time.
Right.
The one thing that is going to be perfect is if when you are really wanting to do it, you just do it.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
the perfect time to make your move is when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. There's never a perfect day.
And you can always change your thing again.
Right.
It's not the end of the world when you make a mistake. I mean, come on. You've made mistakes in the United States. Maybe moving to a certain neighborhood, a house that you bought that you should have bought.
Good point. Yeah.
A job you took that you shouldn't have taken. It's no different if you come to Mexico and maybe you started in the wrong place or something like that. You can do all your research and everything else, but at the end of the day, do you pull the trigger or you don't?
Right. And once you get here, right. And once you get here, you can make changes. Like you said, like you get here, go in the neighborhood, you go, oh, I don't like this neighborhood. It wasn't the right neighborhood for me to move in. Guess what? You can pick up and it's not that hard. So I would suggest also coming here and Airbnb first, or come and buy a house or rent a house sight unseen. That's one thing I would do. Some people do, but I would just start off with the Airbnb. When you say,
I would start off with resort life because realistically, if you come here to live in stay in the resorts, and unless that's the thing, and you're not gonna learn Mexico and all of that in the resort style environment.
But if that's what you enjoy, but for us, it's like, no, that's not even.
So my battery is going dead on my MacBook.
All right, we really got to go for real stuff. All right, so thank you guys for joining us today. Again, I'm Rose Marie, and this is my lovely husband, Jimmy.
So thank you for watching. And if you want to see more lives or you have any other topics,
good, exactly.
We just ask that you just let us know, DM us or anything else. But outside of that, we're going to say hasta luego. No, we're going to say adios.
Adios, amigas and amigos. Adios. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe if you like more content like this. And we will see you on our next live. And let us know if you like live because this is our first live, so we never done live before. If you like this kind of
we haven't done lives on this channel.
Right. But if you like this kind of format, we'll still do our regular videos too. Well, let us know. We'll do more lives. Maybe one live a week. Woo! Woo!
So with that, ciao.
All right, guys. Love you.
Bye, mate.
Ciao, Bella.
That's fair.